Welcome to the Real Construction Owners Podcast, where we interview real construction owners to teach you and help you get to the next level. Today I have a special guest, an electrical contractor out of New York and New Jersey, Tito Siroti, the owner of All Wiring Electric. How you doing today, Tito?
Doing very well.
Awesome to have you on the show, brother. Listen, people come to this show and they like to learn nuggets and they like to learn tidbits of how they can become a real construction owner instead of a stressed out operator. And if you could tell our audience the story, how'd you get started? How long ago? What put a vision in your mind to start this company?
Well, I always wanted to be an electrician from when I was in second grade.
Seriously?
Seriously. My father was a sound engineer and a commercial sound. So I said, you know what? I want to go be an electrician. So I went through, in high school, we had BOCES, and in 10th grade, I took electronics, actually 101, and then 102. There was the first part and the second part for from the first year and the second part of that year of 10th grade. So after that, I went into BOCES, and I went into 11th grade and 12th grade, the whole course, and a guy wrote a number on the board and said, "Who wants to be an electrician's helper?" And just a helper. Because you start off with a helper first. And I says, because if you're interested, call this number. So I was probably the only one that I know of out of 24 of us that did. And some other guys got in different ways, and I called the guy up, and it turned out that he was a union electrician, union contractor.
Guys, listen closely. Right here, there's a nugget of wisdom right here. So when you get an opportunity, you don't just let it pass you by. You seize that opportunity by the horns. And in this case, Tito, he seized it and he found a mentor. If you want something in life, you got to find a mentor and model them. And that's what Tito did. Carry on, Tito.
Don't let the grass grow under your feet. That's the bottom line.
Don't let the grass grow under your feet.
That's it. Keep moving.
You know, electrical work is serious. Like, it's not something people should be dabbling in. People should definitely hire a professional.
They have no idea. When you go into Home Depot and some guy's telling you, oh, you do this, that. Listen, they're selling you the materials. It's a joke.
No, right? You're right. I had a very close friend, his dad. He came home one day and they were always playing jokes on each other. His name was Luke and his dad was Mr. Laughlin. Unfortunately, his dad was just laying there dead because he was trying to change some type of little panel or something, just something small. And he got shocked and killed him right on the spot.
Yep. It's not the voltage, it's the amps that kill you. So you know.
Yeah.
And so at that point, I got into the trade. And from that point, I got into first year apprentice and worked by the time I was 24, 25 years old, I was out a mechanic. And you still don't know everything.
Never.
You never do. And even now, I'm 65, all right? And I still don't know everything.
Tito, that's why I'm here today, brother. I'm trying to learn something from you, man. Like, I'm the first to admit, I don't know. I know so little. That's why I do these podcasts, because maybe you learn something from me. Maybe I learn something from you. Like, I'm always trying to learn, just like you said, man.
Right. And it's like here, I've got 8 licenses, and I tell my guys that work for me. I'm like, listen, you got a question, just give me a call, ask me. I don't know everything. Just because I got the licenses doesn't mean nothing, all right? Because once you think you know everything, you stop learning. And the codes change every 3 years. So the codes are changing when they're adopting the codes and things like that. And if you're not up on it, you're going to get lost. And you're going to do the wrong thing.
Yeah, for sure. You know, Tito, I'm curious, what's a scary moment in your journey of this business or a really expensive lesson that you learned along the way?
Good question. One lesson I learned you got to watch out for is that 13,200 volts, because we do all kinds of voltages. And when you're doing 13,200 volts, you do not get a second chance. So that's one thing. Fear keeps you safe. Respect keeps you safe.
Double checking your math keeps you safe.
Sure. Yeah, without a doubt. I've had it where I've gotten myself hung up on a line when I was in BOCES. I got hung up on the whole string of lights. And back then, those were all high. They were all 8-foot fluorescent lamps. So they were drawing about 2.5 amps each. I was on a whole string of them, roughly about 16 amps. Under that, maybe 14 amps. And I got glued to it.
In layman's terms, he touched it and literally just touching it, like he's like stuck to it, right?
Exactly.
You're stuck to it and you're getting electrocuted and you can't get off
electrocuted.
It. You can't even get off of it.
Because I grounded myself and I grabbed the neutral.
Crazy.
So I grabbed the neutral and I grabbed the ground building steel. Being young, not realizing, because they say, oh, white, you don't get hit off the white, you get hit off the black leg. Well, guess you will get killed on the white.
Yeah, got to be careful with electrical guys. Seriously.
You're not sure what you're doing.
It's one of those things I always hire out. A professional, somebody who's got their license.
You could be a plumber, and you could mess around with water. Water's not the greatest thing because that creates mold and things like that. But you're not going to get killed, for the most part.
Yeah. Same with roofing. I own a roofing company, and I always warn customers, hey, you are not qualified to get up on that roof. Like, I know that you're an engineer and you're a smart person, but you don't have the right equipment. Sure, you can YouTube a couple videos. One time a guy, he got up there after I told him, don't get on the roof. And on his way down, the ladder went out from under him. He fell, hit his head, got in a coma, and died. Like within 2 months, hundreds of thousands of dollars in medical expenses. It's an unfortunate situation when homeowners don't listen or business owners don't listen. They want to try to do it themselves.
There's no such thing as cutting corners.
Yeah, totally.
You cut a corner, it's going to cost you some time or another.
Eventually, it'll catch up. Eventually.
Not now, it's when. Yep.
Yeah. So let's switch gears a little bit. I'm curious, for maybe a electrician who is going to listen to this podcast, talk to them. Give them some nuggets, man. Give them some wisdom. What are the different ways that you generate business?
It could be my competitor. And you know what? It's just do the right thing. That's all. That's what I've been doing. Listen, I've been doing this a long time, since '79, and I was always moonlighting, doing side work, hustling, and like that. And even then, you just do the right job. If it takes you a little longer, so be it. And usually that gets you through a lot. Are you gonna get your difficult customers? You always are going to be. All right, without a doubt.
Yeah, there's ugly people in this world. They move around a lot. You don't get them too often, but when you do, you know them. They stick out.
Yep.
And so is most of your work coming through word of mouth, or do you have like a special angle, like with an estimating department, a special category that you go after?
I estimate jobs myself for the residential, because I could just blow through them quite quickly. But when it comes to the commercial stuff, I have I have a guy that does that for me. And I've been using him exclusively. And he does a good job for me. And we had one bad mistake, and that was my fault. I misguided him. So when you're doing things like that, make sure you're estimated properly, And for example, I had another guy turn around and tell me, listen, could you beat your it was like a 14,000, 12, I was like 14,000, and he was like 12,000. And I'm like, well, how much? I don't know if we're comparing apples to apples or what, okay? So he's like, let me see that proposal. Well, turns out I know the guy. And I'm like, no, I'm not dragging my industry down the toilet bowl to get a job. So don't do that, all right?
Yeah, in every business, we got to have, like one of the reasons I started this podcast, Tito, is because my dad grew up in construction, and he was wearing all the hats. He was dealing with the customers, he was dealing with production, he was sometimes having to run out to the job, sometimes he was having to do collections, and I knew there's got to be a better way. So I joined different men's groups, I paid for masterminds, and I saw very successful people in those rooms that had businesses that they didn't have to operate. They literally were owners. So that's why this is called the Real Construction Owners Podcast. And one of the things that I tell our listeners is, hey, if you want to grow and scale and get to the next level, understand that you need to have like a micro, macro, or a process for estimating. So, and accountability. So these types of things don't happen. Like in my construction company, we know down to the linear foot, the square foot, depending on the trade, how much it's going to cost for tear off and replacement, depending on different materials. Right. So all they got to do is click a couple buttons and it factors in that price. And then before the proposal sent, it's checked by like one of our veteran estimators. So that's how we've built a system to where I don't have to manage and oversee and double check everything. And it sounds like you got that with that commercial guy.
Yeah, he's got it down very well. But the thing also is like this. I was saying before with this guy. I'm like, here it is. Everybody quotes jobs differently to a degree, all right? And he had a certain length of footage on his estimate. Well, mine doesn't have that. I don't do that, all right? Unless it's big wire, all right, large size wire, 500,000s, 350s, or something like that. That's because you're looking at $15 a foot just for copper wire for one leg, which is for 500,000s. So that's a lot of money. If you're going to extend and go through 30 feet more, because you're off, and you're going 3 legs, 4 legs of that, you're looking at some big bucks there at the end, depending on the size of the job and what you quoted it at. And quote is the best guesstimate that you can get to an estimate. That's what it is.
Right.
It's really not, and it's an estimate. It's a guesstimate, really, in the reality of it.
Yeah.
How long is it going to take you to do a job? And for us, for our trade, put down. This is good guidance for everybody, and that is put down what you're going to do, and that's what it is, and no other work.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Always protect your ass, protect your tail.
Because they're all trying to get something out of you.
Something for free. Yeah.
And with the cost of materials, labor, you can't do it. You can't throw somebody a bone unless you're raping them at the beginning.
Totally. Curious, what are a few different types of marketing strategies that you utilize to generate opportunities for your company?
I got the stickers, put them on the panels. What we do also is we put signs up, and some towns don't allow you to put signs up, but we do the signs. I find that works pretty well. We're also on Facebook, so we do that also. And
nice.
My office girl manages that, Christina. She does a good job of doing that for me.
That's awesome. Tito, once a year I invite contractors. I have a mansion here in Costa Rica, like a big, beautiful house right on a river. And I have about 30 different contractors come, people who are around like the 3 to 5 million who want to get to the 8 to 15 million a year and really build a business that can run with not them having to be in the chair overseeing everything. And there's like 5 different things that my company, that I train my salesmen to do that generate us millions of dollars in revenue. One of them I'll share with you is before the end of the job, we always pull referrals and we incentivize the homeowner. We have a script, like a well thought out script. We have a process where we're sitting next to them and a notepad, and we get them to tell us the name of this person and the name of that person. And sometimes they don't know the number, but if they do, we then put them in a 3-way text. If they don't, we go knock on that door and say, hey, Sally, I was just over at this house. Just wanted you to know we're giving free estimates. I wanted you to have my card. You're going to see our guys here for the next several days. We're doing a big electrical project. Is there any type of work you're looking to get done in the next 6 months? Just that little tactic right there generates tons of revenue for my construction company and the guests that come to that retreat here in Costa Rica. They utilize it as well. Do you mind if I share one other that might help you?
Go ahead.
Okay, so another one is there's this tool called Nextdoor app. I'm sure you heard of it. You've probably been listed on it as a really high quality contractor. Maybe you didn't know that. But a lot of homeowners use this app called Nextdoor app. And that's another thing that we do. So after we pull the referrals, get their names written down, we say, oh, cool, the next thing we're going to do, Miss Jones, is we're going to give you $200 every time we get a job off this app. There's this app called Nextdoor. Anytime somebody needs a good plumber, or if they are looking to buy a boat, or if they're looking to get their roof replaced, everybody uses this. And what I'm going to do is download it on your phone, and we can delete it after I make the post. But we're just going to say something like, hey neighbors, I wanted you to know Tito with All Wiring Electric just finished doing an electrical project at my home, and I gotta say, he's a true professional, he's an expert. If you ever need a good electrician, call Tito at 914-830-1137. He's your guy. Make sure to mention my name and he'll give you the special that he gave me. And then what happens is it's there forever. And it's inside of that neighborhood group where there's like 30,000 homeowners. And so if anybody ever needs an electrician, they type in electrician or electrical and your name pops up. That little tactic right there, my sales guys do it. And each one of my sales guys, it generates anywhere from 1 to 300,000 each for each one of them a year. Good little tactic. hope that helps. Now, I'm curious, are you utilizing AI at all, Tito, to generate revenue in your business?
You know what? Not at this time.
Okay. We have contractors that actually utilize AI. My company itself uses AI to generate appointments, free inspections, and free estimates whenever we're working in the neighborhood. AI is incredible, man, what we can do with it.
Well, here, let me just tell you something about with the AI. One of my guys just said something to me about looking up something. I said, where'd you get that from? For a code? He goes, well, AI? He goes, yeah. I says, not so. Wrong code. That's not correct.
Yeah. It's not always right, but it
No.
can be used right if you have a good person programming it. So I'm curious, what's the next step of your business to maybe get you out of the chair, to like get you closer to where you can oversee things and maybe not have to be involved in the business? Like what's that next hire? Who is that for you?
I have somebody do what I do, and then I don't have to be here.
How much does that person cost a year?
A lot.
Put a number to it. That's what I had to do. So I hired a coach, and I said I want to be in Costa Rica surfing every morning, and we mapped out my org chart, and there was only 3 people that I needed to replace myself, and I had to put a dollar amount to each person, and then I had to put 3 KPIs or 3 key performance indicators that they had to accomplish every month. And I mean, reality is it only cost me $160,000 to replace myself completely, to where I don't have to do any more work. I just show up once a week and I look at a scorecard and I can tell the pulse of my business, if it's on track or off track, and if I need to step in and lay
Pull
some
the reins in.
Yeah, pull some reins in. And for you're this close, Tito. You're this close. So to replace yourself, what would it cost me?
I was thinking about 150 grand.
Okay, and there's some certain things that that what we do is we create something called a macro micro. So they literally have a checklist. Okay, how to make the estimate. How to measure for this. What happens when this happens? That's what I did, brother. And I was able to replace myself with a manager and give him, $50K. If he increases my EBITDA, he gets a 30% increase. Every year he gets a 30% increase. And after the 4th year, I'll give him a little piece of phantom equity of the company. Those are strategies that I learned from my mentors that I'm happy to, I'm glad that I was able to share with you. Now, I'm curious, what's a tactic that you implement to protect yourself against like subcontractors stealing or things not getting done properly at the job as per specifications?
Based with a general contractor, you're saying. Technically, what happens, that's why on my estimate, we have exactly what we're installing. And we also have, whereas if somebody does our work, we will back charge you to make sure it was done right correctly. And if we have to redo it, it's going to cost you per hour also again, because we've had this happen before. So it protects us, and it protects also the owner, not the contractor, the GC, but the owner who owns the house.
Yeah.
So, because sometimes some people are in a rush, or sometimes the general contractors are in a rush, and we are on the job. So we say we're going to be there. 99% of the time, we are there. And, we always get the one. Nothing's 100%. All right.
Yep.
You always get that 1%, 2% that's going to be a little, oh shit, I forgot, sorry, But we'll get there, Like I'll get the phone calls, I'll get somebody down there right now, and we've done that, For example, we had this little snow that was coming in, but I got guys that are in Jersey, that live in Jersey. So we were not going to be going down there because my office canceled everything because of the snow coming in. And one thing led to another, and I'm like, uh-oh. I looked at it, sort of, oh my God. Well, we had a fire alarm guy come in, they shut down the fire alarm system. We had to go. And I'm like, we can't do this. I said, it's not snowing down there. I said, it's going to be raining down there. Forget it. I said, because it does not pay to go out, take the trucks, somebody get into an accident, they get hurt, you hurt somebody else, you wreck the truck. It doesn't pay.
No,
that's the one thing I learned many years ago when I was going to go to work, and I ended up on a curb with my car after an ice storm. See what? For what I was going to make versus what it cost you to fix the car, should have stayed home.
Yeah, I know that story.
Yeah.
I know that story all too well. I had a sales rep that I hired who swore up and down he was the best freaking thing ever. Next thing you know, within a week, he totaled my car. I got a settlement for $14,000. I only spent $29,000 on that truck. So yeah, I lost 15 grand after a week of working with this knucklehead. But it is what it is. You know, you learn your lessons, right? Yeah. Tito, listen, private equity is buying up companies. One day you're going to run and retire. Maybe you have somebody who is going to take over your, you know, maybe a son or somebody that you that looks up to you. But in order to sell the company, we got to be able to have a business that runs without us, because buyers, they don't want a company they don't want a job, basically. So with that in mind, have you ever got offers, people trying to buy your company?
People calling me up to buy some real estate I own. That's it. And here the thing is, I've got 8 licenses, so I cover a big area.
Yeah, that's what I do. That's what I invest in. Majority of my money goes into real estate. There's this concept called cost segregation. If you're a business owner and you're making good money, man, there's nothing worse than having to write a check for, 200, 300, 400 grand to the IRS. In my opinion, I've had to do it before. But I learned about this thing called the cost segregation studies, where I don't buy in New York. New York's just too expensive for my blood. Like, I'll buy in Texas, or I'll buy in Mississippi or Alabama, and I'll just, Section 8, where I can have a renter in it. And then you can do this thing called cost segregation, where you hire an engineer and you get all 30 years of appreciation deducted off your taxes. The first time I did this, Tito, I saved $1,000 on a tax bill that I would have to write in 2023. So if you're not utilizing cost segregation, highly recommend it. It's a great way to save money for you, brother. Well, listen, Tito, this has been fun, man. If you were to give one piece of advice to an electrician just starting out and they want to get to, their first million, their second million, what's one final piece of advice you'd give to an electrician who wants to, grow a business that can give their family a good life?
Here's the first thing. When you're first starting out, don't go to the trade schools. You're wasting your money. Just get the hell in, go work for a contractor. If you can get in as a union, that's your best bet, for the simple reason being you're going to get an education. You're going to work with a whole bunch of different guys. Some of them are going to be really, really, really good. Some of them are going to be slugs. But you're going to learn a lot because of working with the good guys. You'll be exposed to a lot more different things than would be if it was a smaller shop. Now, what we do is, and even my shop there, I'm a union shop, and we're involved in, residential, commercial, everything across the board. So my guys get a good education on a lot of different things.
That's really good advice. Get involved with the union, because you're going to learn a lot.
Yeah, and you're going to get your education. You go through a 5-year apprenticeship program and the whole 9 yards. That's the best way to go.
That's really good advice. I love that.
Because as a contractor, it's expensive. But you know what? I see, if you're a slug, kick you to the side, get another guy. That's it. Call a halt, get another guy.
I've had fun talking with you. I appreciate you. Listen, if somebody wants to get a hold of you and they're in New York or Jersey and they need a good electrical contractor, you're with All Wiring Electric, how can they reach out to you, man?
They can give us a call. They can look us up at www.allwiringelectric.com. They can call my office, which is 845-271-7772.
Love that. Thank you for your time today, brother.
Okay, thank you.